Okay, hey everybody. Uh, Today we're having yet another session with another awesome project, Tectum. And before we start, let me introduce myself. I'm Vadim. I'm in charge of business development and growth here at StealthEX. And today, as I said earlier, we have Tectum and their head of content and partnerships team, Dmitrijs Zujevs. Welcome, Dmitry. Please correct me if I butchered your name.
Hey Vadim, well, nice to meet you first of all, nice to meet you guys, the chat, the listeners, and no, everything's correct. My name is Dmitrijs, and I'm a head of content as well as part of the partnerships team of Tectum.
Okay, fascinating. Let me just go over the format for those who are unfamiliar. We will go over the pre-picked questions from Twitter from the users. We have about 10 of those tonight. And then we will open up the chat for the live ones. The entire thing should take about 1 hour, give or take. Sometimes we do get a little bit excited and take longer, but we'll try to stick to the initial time frame. And before we start with the questions, could you please give us a brief introduction about yourself, how you got involved with Tectum?
Yeah, absolutely, Vadim. Well, first of all, we should understand that initially I came from the Web2 space, and regarding Web3, I'm quite new. I've been in Tectum for just about a year, and I came from the sphere of media. I used to work for one of the biggest media agencies in the Arab Emirates, and then luckily I got introduced to the founder of Tectum, Alex Gusev. I spoke to him for a few hours actually, and he actually got me into crypto, and he also managed to answer all the questions I had about crypto, well, such as how to make crypto practical, what can we do about it, and what will be the future of crypto. So this is pretty much how I got into crypto, and well, this is how pretty much I'm going around crypto. I believe that crypto must be practical in the first place to actually make an impact on the society, economics, and pretty much anything you touch.
Fascinating. Yeah, definitely like when people get into crypto, not because it's just some job, but they actually get real interested in it. And right now we'll dive into Tectum, its details. I'm sure everyone is eager to learn about the project. First question in. As Tectum expands globally, regulatory compliance becomes critical. How is the team approaching KYC, AML, and financial licensing across different regions? And are there any partnerships planned with traditional financial institutions?
Yeah. Apologies. Yeah, well, obviously the KYC, AML are now, non-optional in crypto Web3 space. So the way we approach this is we understand that, some people have concerns about, KYC, KYB, AMLs. So the way we approach this is actually, recently we added the on-ramp, off-ramp services into our web wallet. And basically, it is those on-ramp, off-ramp services that actually handle all those KYC, KYB transactions. That's first of all, and also, whenever you're making an actual, practical partnership with someone, and it comes to finance, we try best to do any due diligence, if that makes sense. So it's not quite the KYB process, right, or the KYC process, but we are honestly trying to do as much research as possible. But when it comes to people's funds, it's the official, fully legalized KYCs and KYBs that our partners handle. So yeah, thank you for this question. And obviously, the Web3 was a bit more free in that sense, but there is nothing we can do about it, and it's only logical and it's only fair that KYCs, KYBs, and AMLs are coming into crypto space as well.
Yeah, you're very right. You have to be very compliant these days. I think right now, even I work on the growth and business development side. Most of my conversations, especially with new projects, we go over KYC and AML questions and matters for the most part, just because it's such a hot topic and regulatory framework gets more intense every month, right? In every region, pretty much, and you gotta stay on top of the compliance stuff because if you're not gonna be compliant, you're not gonna last in the space, unfortunately. Anyways, or maybe not unfortunately, but then you just It's part of the reason why we have to be compliant, because crypto is attracting so many bad actors still to this day. There's a lot of scams and malicious activity going around, sadly. Alrighty, let's continue on with the questions. What inspired the creation of Tectum, and what core problems does it aim to solve in the blockchain space? Can you share Tectum's long-term vision for mainstream blockchain adoption?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question, and I feel like it's much more important to explain what we are trying to solve rather than what inspired Tectum. Well, what inspired Tectum are actually the problems we're trying to solve. We're trying to make crypto practical, right? Because when you come to someone and you try to explain, what is crypto, what is Web3 space to someone who never dealt with it before, the first thing that comes to that, to the mind of that person is, usually meme coins, unfortunately. And this is the problem we are trying to solve. We're trying to make crypto practical. We're trying to make crypto feasible. We came up even with the solution of so-called soft notes. Those are practically printable rights of ownership of your crypto, right? So, you obviously cannot print out your Bitcoin. You cannot print out your Ethereum or, whatever, any coin. But what you can actually do, you can pass out the right of ownership of that coin, of that currency to someone. You can actually print out that right of ownership. And this is also partially how we solve the issue with the speed and congestions on the system, because it's much faster to pass out that ownership of the currency rather than the currency itself, and rely on some external networks. So this is what I believe this is what we are actually trying to solve. We're trying to make crypto usable, make crypto physical. We're not trying to replace fiat, no. We're only trying to give people more options than they currently have.
This is great. I always like to hear the projects that come into space that have an actual problem they try to solve. They see a problem and project being kind of stemming and growing from that problem. Because what we see a lot in crypto, we see a lot of Web3 enthusiasts who are brilliant. They have brilliant ideas, but we see a lot of development for the sake of development and people building stuff because it's cool, but it's not necessarily solving anything. So it's always great to see when there is actual issue in place. And continuing on that, there is a second question that kind of segues us into: how does Tectum's proof of utility consensus mechanism achieve 3.5 million TPS? And what architectural innovation enabled this performance compared to traditional proof of work and proof of stake systems?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. Thank you again. Well, I kind of started touching upon this question in my last answer, and not to get too technical, about how a blockchain works, except it's actually. Well, practically the proof of utility that we have, right? Consensus is it works based on how usable that specific node was in processing that exact transaction. So, as opposed to the proof of work, the traditional method within the blockchain, is if we were to imagine that in the physical space, the proof of work would be how many laps, let's say, you run in 6 minutes. The proof of utility that we operate is how many times you were the first one in those 6 minutes, in those laps. So how effective you were, how effective your hardware is, how effective your node was. So that's what makes a chain faster and more scalable, because we're only trying to operate with the most effective methods, most effective nodes, most effective users that hold those nodes. Because otherwise, there's no point of having, like a million different nodes, and all of them are doing the exact same job. Now, what's the point? Let's only reward, the ones that do it in the most effective work. Reward the ones that only bring us any utility rather than none.
Right, and it also seems like a more conscious approach, because what proof of work does, for the most part, especially these days, and we all know the energy concern, it consumes a lot of energy for nothing. People try to compete to solve, and it's just not very efficient and not very friendly from the ecological terms. So going for a more efficient approach, more utilitarian approach is definitely viable in our time and day. Alrighty, let's continue on with the questions. What strategic advantages does the planned TON network integration bring to Tectum ecosystem, and how might it position Tectum as a multi-chain financial hub comparing to existing Web3 payment infrastructure?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you should understand that, TON is amongst the most prospective networks, I would say, in the Web3 space. Definitely because of Telegram, right? And the role that Telegram has been playing in the Web3 in the past few years. And our integration of TON, it does take some time because, some specifics that TON has. But, realistically, while adding TON, we already have Bitcoin, of course, we have Ethereum, we have Solana. And adding TON will be not just yet another network, another chain, but TON, we aim at being one of the main chains in a network because of how prospective it is, because of how much value it brings, and how much development the entire TON ecosystem has had in the past, I don't know, a year, maybe, right? Recently Telegram introduced gifts, and that's obviously a part of the the whole crypto idea that Telegram brought us. So I believe that TON will be highly effective network and highly valuable network as well within a multi-chain system, as you just called it.
Yeah, I agree that TON is very prospective these days. They have done a lot in the past several years in terms of adoption. And right now, I personally utilize TON network as a network for payments much more than used to be, because we used to Tron, TRX being the kind of a king for payments, but now their transaction fees are pretty higher even than the Ethereum fees, but just because everyone is just so used to using Tron, it's still being used widely. And I'm pretty much, at this time as we speak, I'm pretty much entirely switching my personal payments to TON just because it's much more efficient, much more user-friendly, and of course the gas fees and speed is also huge. So yeah, definitely very prospective network, and I'm definitely looking forward to see what they are gonna bring next. They are bringing the tokenized stocks on TON now, same as Solana did. So we'll see how that will unveil. Anyways, let's continue on with the questions. How do Tectum's partnerships with AI platforms like OpNode and Neurolov enhance scalability of SoftNote for real-time borderless payments in Web3 commerce?
Sorry. Well, of course, you should understand that any partnership, it has either the short-term vision or the long-term vision, right? Immediate or not so immediate. As for example, whenever you integrate the on-ramp off-ramp systems, right, you aim at more of the short-term visions. You want them to start working straight away. Meanwhile, any AI project, at least at this stage, at this current stage, any AI project in Web3 is more of the long-term vision. We are currently also developing a 4.1 blockchain, which is decentralized as opposed to a SoftNote wallet that hosts the centralized network. So the 4.1 blockchain, decentralized blockchain, which is already in the test, will be able to handle different AI agents, models. So we're trying to make it as comprehensive as possible because we realize that is a very, very scalable decentralized blockchain that we just made. And having already partnerships in our mind, partnerships that already looking to work with us and we are looking to work with them, is something that gives us a head start, I would say, in a 4.1 blockchain development and just a general development of the company, because both of the partners, they already gave us a short brief of what they can do for us, what we can do for them. So this is a great question. I cannot say exactly what those partnerships will immediately bring to us, but I can definitely assure you, Vadim, that those AI partnerships such as OpNode and Neurolov will, well, enhance a network, right? They will enhance an already scalable network, and they will enhance the user experience that people will have with us. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a valid point that AI in Web3 in particular is still somewhat fresh and it's still very well. There are AI projects out there, obviously, but then I guess the enhancement part of it, it's not widely used yet. The projects that are AI based or AI focused, they're mostly all about AI, not about the AI enhancement. And I firmly believe that AI is a tool that should be used to, make things better, make our lives better, make our projects better. So it's definitely a very valid approach. All right, we have several questions left. The development of SynthesNode and TET is underway. Could you provide insights into these projects and how they align with Tectum's vision for the future?
Well, to be frank and honest about it, the last time we provided insights on TET and SynthesNode, it went very well, but then, so some things went, not so good in the business side, and, kind of the development has slowed down a bit. It hasn't stopped, but it's slowed down, the partnerships that we were aiming at didn't, quite work out. Or sometimes it happens. And so, insights kind of backfired at us, which is, well, understandable. So this is why the way we operate now is we only want to, give users what they can actually expect, what they can actually see, rather than, well, hey guys, we start working on this and that, and you will maybe see, maybe you will not see this. So instead, us at Tectum, we are only looking to update users on what is actually coming and when such things are coming. The SynthesNode and TET are one unique mechanism that is capable of actually bringing down the volatility of different foreign currencies by basically merging with different crypto chains, if that makes sense. So let's say, you can create a digital, Naira of Nigeria, right, under the SynthesNode, but which will also be backed by, Naira itself, as well as, let's say, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and, whatever you want to add. So this is the system in a nutshell. But regarding the, practical development of the SynthesNode, TET, I'm afraid, the community got to wait on it just a bit because, we have some more, how can I call it, reliable things that we are currently working on, such as the 4.1 decentralized blockchain, the recently introduced TCT community token, and of course the redesign of our wallet, because we understood that our system is quite complex and the redesign is practically necessary. Those are 2-3 things that are coming up very soon, and as well as we just introduced the EPOS, which is the electronic point of sale for merchants, and we are also working on the amazing system called which is named Copay, which will basically allow offline transactions in crypto space.
Fascinating. So there's a lot happening, and it's always great to see that. This kind of brings us to the next question. What role does the TCT token play in Tectum's ecosystem, especially with its recent pre-sale and integration to SoftNote?
Oh, that's a great question. And when we introduced TCT token, obviously we faced some backfires, like, guys, why you launching the second token? Or we have a main token, exception. And well, this is also completely understandable because people should understand that TET main token, TET token, is still the main gas fee. Will always remain the gas fee of our entire ecosystem. As well, will always remain the one and only option to mint soft nodes that will basically allow completely zero-fee transactions. Speaking of TCT is more of the community token. As you probably know, in the crypto space, it's very difficult to have any vote unless you're a whale, unless you hold a massive amount of certain token. And the company will actually listen to you. So TCT is aiming to bridge that gap in a sense that TCT is a DAO token. So people will be able to vote with the TCTs. People will be able to get certain rewards from the EPOS ecosystem, and moreover, regarding to TCTs, people will be able to actually stake their TETs and receive TCT as a reward. So instead of, let's say, if someone was willing to set the TET at a low price, he will be able to, or she, of course, those people will be able to stake their TETs, for 3, 6, or 9 months accordingly, and receive TCTs as a reward. And by that time, we are aiming to make a EPOS system, the merchants system, already usable, already, how should I call it? Well, not widely spread, but significantly spread. And so the holders of TCT will receive rewards from that EPOS merchant system. So this is why TCT is a community token. It is not a necessity to hold TCTs. No, it is more of the option. So, if you want to earn extra rewards, or perhaps if you are willing to participate in a new decentralized ecosystem, such as, DAO voting, or later on we also wrote a smart contract for TCT that will also allow the DeFi borrowing and lending. So if you guys are willing to, step in, to dive into that, Web3 space, that, different models, different projects, the TCT is the choice. Meanwhile, if you're looking at the PayFi, well, keep holding TET, that's completely fine. And, well, TET is still the main gas fee. We always remain as the only gas fee, and we always remain as the main token of our system, which will also allows users to mint SoftNotes and, of course, make feeless transactions within the system. But, feel free to, ask me to clarify anything, because I know it may sound complex, but,
No, yeah, thank you for the great explanation. Honestly, I'm all in for the second ecosystem tokens within projects. Usually, right, just as you mentioned, one acts as the main sort of asset, and another one acts as a utility token, as a governance token. Right, utility, rewards, etc., etc., etc. So that's why it's always a valid point to have both available for the community and user base. Continuing on the TCT question, there's next one that kind of follows up. This TCT designed to complement TET through governance, staking, and revenue sharing. How does Tectum envision balancing long-term economic stability between the two tokens while ensuring neither dilutes to the other's value or utility?
Dilutes, yes, this is the keyword that community keeps asking about. Like, guys, this is the second token. Are you aiming to drop all your efforts on TCT and just drop out on TET? No, guys. Well, TET, as I just mentioned, still remains the main token, the only token of our entire SoftNote ecosystem. TCT is just the additional community token. The way it will balance is basically the TCT is more of the advanced kind of Web3 token that people are often looking to to investigate, to play around with. So this is more of the just Web3 community. We want to give back to the community. We want to give them options, as I keep saying on. TET is still the main gas fee. TET is everything that we have. TET allows to mint SoftNote. TET allows to use it as a gas fee. And, well, TET, it is what people actually were attracted to in the first place. So even from our perspective, to drop out on TET is a nonsense. There is no need for that. And TCT is rather, just an addition to the ecosystem. TCT is something that, users can and will experience. It's something that gives them the DAO voting, the DeFi lending and borrowing system, the additional rewards, from EPOS. So in my opinion, and of course the team's opinion as well, there is just no scenario in the world when TET or TCT may dilute the value of each other, because two of them have completely different purposes. yes, they do complement each other through different actions and scenarios, such as you just mentioned, staking and of course the EPOS. But there's just, basically I would say that the only way how two tokens may dilute each other is if they're responsible for any actions together. But TCT and TET, they have two completely different purposes, maybe not two different audiences, but one is the community token, one is the gas fee. So I did not see a world when they would dilute the value of each other, especially because soon we are going into the launchpads with TCT, and of course to go into the launchpads you must have some marketing campaigns, etc. So I believe Alex Zujevs, our founder and CEO, has been in the chat, and he did mention that the marketing campaign for TCT is coming up. And one of the users in the chat, he asked the question something like, what about the marketing campaign for TET? And I saw that question, I was like, well, if someone is marketing TCT, he's not marketing just the TCT itself as a token, he's marketing the whole Tectum as a business, as a company. So obviously, you cannot just market the token itself, you're marketing the business, and therefore, well, we will not be just marketing TCT in the campaign, but also the TET and the Tectum itself, things we are doing, the SoftNote, the SoftNote wallet, the EPOS, it will be everything. So yeah, I hope it answers your rather simple question with my rather complex answer.
No, as you mentioned right away, it's not a competitor token; it's a complement, right? They shouldn't even be compared to each other, right? It's like apples to oranges. They serve completely different purpose, right? So I understand where the user base is coming from, but from what I've seen in the past and from the projects that I've worked with or whatever, many projects do that, right? And I don't think I've ever seen where one asset just devaluates another one. Well, unless it's like the same function, but then why would you do that? Usually, if people do that, they just migrate, right? So you just gotta think about it as a complement rather than a competition. So it kind of makes a lot of sense. All right, we have 2 more questions left, and then we will get some live ones in. SoftNote offers 0 fee transfers, but users still need to mint the node using TET, which adds an initial barrier. How is Tectum planning to simplify the SoftNote minting process and minimize the friction for the new users to enable the one-click cash-like experience needed for true mainstream adoption?
This is a great question, and I'll tell you this. Obviously, to have those 0 fee transactions, it is essential to mint the SoftNotes using TET. And obviously, it may seem like an extra step, but in reality, it is not an extra step, but rather, a process that, let's say, Solana blockchain does automatically. When you were making transaction through the Solana, right, you're paying the fee, right? But you're paying the fee every single time you're making transaction, correct? And depending on how congested the network is, you're paying a certain fee, certain amount of money. It takes some time. With the SoftNotes, it's a bit different. Once you minted that SoftNote, you pay that fee once, and that SoftNote can be passed around, God knows how many times, like really infinite amount of times. So you pay the one-off, fully predictable transaction, which is always 0.01% of the current TET price, if I'm not wrong with the numbers and zeros. And you make the one-off payment minting fee to mint into the SoftNote using TET. And that mechanism actually allows you to start using SoftNotes. You can, of course, use the different chains in a wallet, such as the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and as we just discussed, we are adding a ton. But you'll be paying those external network fees that I just mentioned, and those network fees, they vary depending on the how congested the network, how what is the price of that token. With SoftNote, it's different. It's the one-off minting fee. It may sound like an extra step, but in reality, it's more of the an extra detail to get into our system. It may sound more complex, but as I mentioned 20 minutes ago, we are redesigning the wallet to make it as seamless as possible, so users will not even notice that extra step, extra transaction. It will be the exact cash-like experience that you just mentioned.
Great. Yeah, having a simplified experience is the key, especially if you're aiming to onboard the Web2 crowd. All right, last question in, and then we'll open up the chat for some live ones. Community-driven innovation is powerful in blockchain projects. How does Tectum involve its global community in decision-making, testing new features, or promoting adoption of SoftNote? Are there any upcoming programs or incentives for active supporters?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, once again, back to TCT, community token, opportunity for staking, opportunity for the EPOS rewards. But also we are working quite closely with the community. As for example, I was mentioning that the 4.1 decentralized blockchain is currently in the testnet phase, right? And one of the community members, he already made a meme coin on it. So I would say that's quite a cool work from the community. But also around 6 months ago, we launched the so-called loyalty program, which is about, speaks for itself. You basically complete tasks. You help Tectum grow in socials. You make reposts. You leave comments, likes, whatever. This program not just incentivizes users to tell others about Tectum, about the company, but also users should and will expect rewards from it. And we are currently finalizing the rewards process. We are calculating how much rewards based on the points users earned in that system. And also, of course, we are using the traditional methods in engaging in the rewards in the community, such as the airdrops that are also coming up very, very soon. And I must also mention that recently we've kind of built the referral system, which is, I believe, already available in the web wallet, and it also incentivizes users to invite their friends, invite their, maybe families, colleagues, whatever, to become a part of our growing ecosystem, a growing user base. And from what I've seen in the stats, it really did help all those different programs that we launched, such as the loyalty program, such as the the referral program too. So I hope it answered your question.
Thank you very much. No, it really kind of explains the entire thing. And right, we've been talking about the TCT a lot in this conversation, and it kind of wraps up the reasoning behind the TCT. So it's a very, very TCT oriented session this time around. All right, let's get some live questions in. I'll try to pick people who has been here since the very beginning. This guy fears me adding you as a speaker. Fears me, you can speak now. You have to unmute yourself. There is a little microphone thing on the left side of your device.
Can I ask my question?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, my question is, what role does blockchain technology play in ensuring transparency, security, and scalability within ecosystem, particularly in the areas of fund allocation, station operation, and user rewards?
That's a very good question, Phil. Thank you. It's a very technical question too. I must admit, I might not answer it fully, right? To be frank, but what I can say here is that, first of all, we do have the Tectum Explorer, so basically a tool that allows you to actually explore a full blockchain, which is fully transparent. You can see all the transactions happening within our system, including the team wallets that we have in our dashboard, as well as answering the question regarding the basically the consensus rewards, if I understood that correctly. A proof of consensus, proof of utility consensus is elaborately described in a white paper as well as on our website. So please do visit the tectum.io, and where you can find a white paper and read a lot of technical details that I'm very sure you're able to understand slightly better than me, explaining them right now. So thank you for this question, Figures, and it's really made me think for quite a few moments on the best way to answer that. It's a great question, honestly.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Fears. Let's get some more questions in. We still have some time. Let me try find somebody who has been here since the beginning. This person, I think. Vulcan, adding you the speaker. Vulcan, you can speak now. You have to unmute yourself, as usual. Let's give him a few moments. Spaces has never been stable in the 5 years that they've been up already.
It's terrible, honestly. It's terrible. At least right now, it's a stable connection. Every single time I join Spaces from my computer at home, it just crashes every 10 minutes. I'm like, guys,
yeah, you cannot.
Can you fix it?
You cannot use computer. Yeah, no, very true. Elon should do something about it. All right, Vulcan looks like some connection problems. Let's get somebody in the space. But no, it is pretty funny how it feels like they released it and they haven't done anything while the amount of people using it has increased exponentially. Mandy, adding you as a speaker. No, there was an error adding.
While waiting, that's fine. No, I've been just thinking, Spaces has been around for how many? 5 years, right? And still not fixing properly. Still doesn't work properly. Meanwhile, they did develop Grok in how many? 6 months? A year?
Yeah, something like that. And now they're doing all those.
Talking about priorities. I'm telling you.
And they're making their anime assistants now, which is, I don't know.
Oh, God.
Well, I don't know what they're doing. But no, Martin, you can speak now. You have to unmute yourself.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me opportunity. Can I ask my question?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. My question is, how does Tectum ensure the safety and security of user found and data? Are there any independence audit or security certifications?
Yes, Martin, of course. That's a good question. That's a very good question. I see a lot of users are, not concerned, but rather curious about how we ensure the security. First of all, I believe that all the certificates that we have gained on our website, tectum.io, but also answering your question directly. Recently, we've developed the contacts with Ripple for the custodianship, because we understood that once the big funds start coming up, we need to ensure that the funds are totally secure, and this is why Ripple is more likely to handle our custodianship on the side, so that Ripple obviously is more reputable than 99% of any Web3 company. So this is why we are talking to Ripple in regards for handling all of the custodianship and funds that we will not hold in that case. Thank you. But yeah, if you wanna check out the exact legislations and all of the paperwork. It is totally available online. It's totally available on Tectum.io website, and I believe they are somewhere at the top right tab, somewhere in user agreement, that kind of thing. It explains pretty well on the way we handle those and what handles those and how we handle those.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for your answer.
Thank you, Martin.
No, thank you for the question. Thank you for the question, indeed.
Let's get one more. Let me find somebody who has been here. All right, this person. Henry, adding you as a speaker. Parody account, interesting. Yes, you can speak.
Okay. So my question, what is your roadmap plan for this year, 2025? Can you share with us? This is my question.
Yeah, absolutely, Henry. Thank you. That's a very good question. It's a very simple question. It's a very good one. So currently, it is what? It is the 15th of October. So we have around 3 months left, right? So regarding the whole development of the company, right? So we are currently not even finalizing. We're finalizing the build of iOS and Android redesigned mobile wallet, right? So as I was saying a few moments ago, we realized that our system is a bit too complex for an average, for not even an average, for most of the users, as we discovered through the surveys. So we're finalizing the redesigned builds, and we are looking to upload them within a month, right? Also, EPOS. So recently we've not how it's called. God, I forgot the word. Sorry. Recently we've uploaded the beta build of EPOS for merchants, right? And currently we're testing the second version of it, more redefined, redefined, simplified, and we obviously had a few key bugs from our beta. So in a second version, it will be much simpler. It is pretty much bug-free, and founder, CEO Alex Gusev, I'm pretty sure he already was showing spoiling some videos in the chat. Unfortunately for the marketing team ahead of the times. So this is EPOS number 2 until the end of the year. Number 3 is definitely for the company. Is definitely Copay, the offline crypto transactions. And the way it works, the way technology works, is that on your mobile, on the latest Android versions, you have the so-called inaccessible libraries, inaccessible memory, something like this, something very complex, something like this. So people will be able to actually make transactions offline with their crypto. So let's say you are sending money to someone, right? Sending, I don't know, bitcoins to someone from one mobile to the other using Bluetooth, which is actually a fully secure method and also much faster than any NFC out there. So let's say you made that offline Bluetooth transaction, and that transaction is actually recorded on your phone, right, and deleted from the other one. And so once the internet connection goes back, that hash transaction key, whatever it is called correctly, right, it is actually goes online and actually not confirms, but rather makes that Bitcoin, whatever you sent back on chain, back online. So this is the code-based system and the way it works. So this is what we are trying to finalize into the end of the year. And regarding the general development with the TCT, we are already selected the launchpads that will be listing. I believe this is the right word for launchpads, listing them on, and the marketing campaign for that also comes in very, very soon, probably as soon as next week, actually. And we also selected a few sexes that will be immediately listing on straight after the launchpads, and I believe a DEX, maybe 2, generally can't remember. So those are the things our users, our community actually should expect until the end of the year. And hopefully, God forbid me, I did not forget anything, but I don't think I did. Oh yeah, of course, the ton integration. Yes, the ton integration is also set to finalize until the end of the year, the ton network, which will also allow us to gain access to one of the biggest ton, I believe they're a DEX, StoneFi. I'm not sure if you guys heard of it, but it is actually the biggest ton marketplace, SEX/DEX for ton. And of course we are finalizing the latest AAA on-ramp, off-ramping for web and mobile wallets. AAA is a Swiss on-ramp, off-ramp company, and well, first of all, they're very reputable. Second of all, instead of using the widget, we're actually building within the sandbox, within their system, so it will be, a nice and fancy design, and it will be very, very seamless. Even though at the same time it will be a AAA handling all the KYCs, KYBs for users that are looking to, transfer their crypto to fiat, or vice versa, fiat to crypto. So those are how many? 5, 6 things that we are looking to finalize until the end of the year. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Henry. Well, that's a lot of things, and I just realized we are pretty much 2.5 months left in this year. And it's pretty crazy because the year has just been very quick this time around. I feel like New Year's was just very recently. Anyways, Dmitry, thank you for the session. I believe that was a really good final question that kind of wraps up the entire thing. Do you have any final words before we wrap this up?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you personally, Vadim, for this actually good MA. And I'd like to thank this community as well for great questions, because, usually it's the opposite. It is me asking questions to different projects, and, it's been quite a switch to me to actually answer those. And I've enjoyed it. Honestly, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed, that direct communication, that direct, responsibility that I bear for this project while, showing what we do to this community and actually, talking about, all the roadmap, made me actually think that we are actually doing quite a lot recently. And, this MA has been great. Really, really, thank you. You've been an amazing host. Thanks to this community.
Thank you.
You've been very responsive, guys, too.
Fascinating session. As I said earlier, we'll be posting recaps, so everybody will be able to catch on of the things that we've discussed here today. So keep an eye for that, and let's give the man a round of applause. All right, thank you everybody who joined us today. Thank you, Dmitry. Thank you all the people who came from Tectum community. Keep an eye for other sessions and activities we do here at StealthEX. I'm sure we will be doing more activations with Tectum in the future. Well, that'd be it for now. Thank you, everybody joining. You can have a great rest of your day or the entire day, depending on your geographical location.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.